Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into your old coin jar, and pulling out a penny that could change your life. 1 cent. That's it. But what if I told you that one particular penny from 1974, with no mint mark, could sell for over $925,000? That's not a typo. That's not a fantasy. It's a reality for a few lucky Americans who held on to something the rest of the world threw away. Now, before you start tearing your house apart looking for that coin, hold on. This story has twists, hidden truths, and a few shocking surprises that could mean the difference between an ordinary coin and one worth nearly $1 million, and yes, we'll show you exactly how to identify it before the end of this video. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking it's worthless? If so, that decision might have cost you a fortune. Let's take a step back. The year is 1974. Inflation is climbing, the US economy is shaking, and the US Mint is experimenting with cost-cutting ideas. One of those ideas? Changing the composition of the penny from solid copper to aluminum. This is where things get interesting. Several experimental aluminum pennies were struck in 1974. Most were destroyed. But some, somehow, slipped through the cracks and found their way into circulation. At the same time, a small number of copper pennies were struck with exceptional qualities. Rare minting conditions, unique errors, and specific dyes resulted in some 1974 pennies having a much higher value than anyone expected. And here's the critical point: a 1974 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, struck in copper, and showing certain rare traits, has recently sold for up to $925,000 at auction. That's almost $1 million. For a penny, let that sink in. Makes you want to dig through your drawers now, doesn't it? But wait, you might be thinking, what makes this penny so valuable? Is it just the missing mint mark? Is it an error? Is it magic? Not quite. Let's break it down. When's the last time you got excited about a penny? Probably never. Unless it came with a scratch-off ticket and the promise of a few bucks. But now, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Alright, back to business. The 1974 no mint mark Lincoln penny is primarily valuable due to three key features. First, composition. The valuable ones are made of 95% copper and show a deeper reddish-brown tone. The aluminum versions are mostly illegal to own, but the copper ones with rare features? That's where the fortune lies. Second, condition. Grading matters more than you think. A 1974 penny in mint state condition, especially with a grade like MS67 or higher, skyrockets in value. These coins are nearly flawless. No scratches. No wear. Just perfection. Third, errors. Die cracks, off-center strikes, doubling in the lettering or Lincoln's profile. These subtle anomalies can push the price of a simple coin into the six-figure range. Now, if your 1974 penny checks all three boxes, copper composition, pristine condition, and a rare minting error, you might just be holding a treasure worth hundreds of thousands. Still not impressed? One such coin, authenticated by PCGS, sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $925,000. Imagine how that seller felt. Probably the best day of their life. Every day, rare coins like this go unnoticed. People toss them into jars, spend them on coffee, or worse, throw them away. That's the fear you should feel right now. The fear of what you might already have, and not know. So here's what you need to do. Go through your coin jars, your drawers, your wallets, even your childhood piggy banks. Search for 1974 Lincoln pennies. Hold them under a light. Check for that deep copper color. Look for perfection. And inspect closely for errors. If you find one that seems promising, don't hesitate. Get it graded. Reach out to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a trusted coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This step is essential. Without professional grading, even the rarest coin might be dismissed as just another penny, and if you're serious about transforming forgotten coins into real wealth, here's your moment. The world of numismatics, that's coin collecting, by the way, is full of hidden millionaires. Everyday people who stumbled upon the right coin at the right time. You could be next. Oh, and before you ask, what if your 1974 penny has a mint mark? Does that mean it's worthless? Not necessarily. But that is a story for another video. And believe me, it's one you'll want to see. This is more than just a story about a lucky penny. This is about recognizing the extraordinary in the ordinary. It's about paying attention. About the possibility that wealth could be sitting right under your nose, waiting. Have you ever held on to a penny thinking, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your retirement fund? Yes. One small brown coin. Just one. The 1973 D. Lincoln penny, and in today's video, we're revealing how this unassuming little coin could put $920,000 in your pocket. Before you toss that penny in the tip jar, ask yourself, what if I just gave away a fortune? Let's dive in. But stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to identify the real deal, and what you must avoid if you want to cash in. It's 1973. The Vietnam War is nearing its end. Gas is 40 cents a gallon. And in Denver, the U.S. Mint is quietly producing over 3 billion Lincoln pennies. No fanfare. No big announcement. Just copper coins rolling off the presses, but hidden in that massive sea of ordinary coins, a mistake happened. A rare error. A minting anomaly so subtle, most collectors missed it, until someone found it, and that find sparked a quiet storm in the numismatic world. An ordinary-looking penny with the D mint mark, meaning it was struck in Denver, was suddenly no longer worth 1 cent. It was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and now, recent auctions are seeing these 1973 D. Lincoln pennies climbing towards $920,000 in value. Think about that for a second. A penny from your junk drawer could pay off your mortgage, fund your dream retirement, or send your grandkids to college. Still think pennies are just pocket change? Now, let's break this down. Why is this penny so valuable? It's all about rarity, condition, and demand. First, the 1973 D penny is already intriguing to collectors because of the sheer quantity produced. Over 3 billion minted. But most of them were used, damaged, or melted down. So when a high-grade, untouched, uncirculated penny appears, especially with an error, it becomes a rare commodity. And collectors go wild for rare commodities. We're talking about coins with doubling in the lettering, pennies struck off-center, and coins with die breaks or weak strikes. These are not flaws. These are jackpots, and here's the kicker. One such 1973 D. Lincoln penny with a unique mint error in pristine condition was recently estimated at $920,000. Let that sink in. We're not talking about a coin behind glass at a museum. This is a coin that someone found in spare change. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have the $1 million penny? Patience, we're getting there, but first, here's a quick reality check. There are millions of 1973 D pennies out there, but only a tiny fraction have the special characteristics collectors crave. It's like trying to find a gold nugget in a field of sand, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. Ever played the lottery? At least here, you're not buying tickets. You're just checking the coins you already own. Let's be honest, how many of you just got up to grab your coin jar? Don't worry, we'll wait, but seriously, this next part is crucial, because if you don't know what to look for, you might accidentally spend a 6-figure coin at the grocery store. Here's how to spot a potentially valuable 1973 D penny. First, check for the mint mark. It must have a clear D under the year 1973. If it says S or no mark at all, that's not the one we're hunting. Next, look for any unusual details. Doubling in the words, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date. That could mean you've got a double DIE.is, the coin slightly off-center. That's another clue. Does it have a crack or raised line? That could be a die break. Now, here's where most people go wrong. They clean the coin. Don't do that. Ever. Cleaning can destroy its value. Even if it looks better to you, it's a death sentence for collectors. And then there's grading. To reach those top dollar values, your coin needs to be professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. A coin graded MS 67 or higher is where the money starts to roll in, and remember, time is not on your side. As more collectors search and more coins are found, the market could shift. Prices could drop. So if you have one, now is the moment to get it evaluated. That you're not just looking for pennies anymore, that you're looking for a second chance, that an opportunity to turn forgotten change into life-changing wealth. Imagine walking into your local coin shop with what you thought was just a regular penny, and walking out with a check that changes everything. This isn't just about coins, that it's about the freedom to retire early. The joy of surprising your family with a dream vacation, the peace of paying off your debts in one go. That's what this little coin could do for you. So here's your mission, tonight: open that drawer. Dig through that jar, search every old coin that's been collecting dust for decades. Your future might be hiding in plain sight. Yes, you heard that right. A humble 1981 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, just shook the coin collecting world when one rare specimen was valued at $917,000. You might be thinking, a penny from the 80s? That can't be real. But it is. And it could be sitting right in your house. Before you toss that old coin jar back into the drawer, listen carefully. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify this rare treasure, why it's worth so much, and how to turn old copper into serious cash. Let's dig into the mystery of the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare, it's making average Americans wealthy, overnight. Let's rewind to 1981. Gas was just over $1. MTV hadn't launched yet. And the United States Mint was about to make one of its last fully copper pennies. Yes, 1981 was the final full year the US produced pennies made of 95% copper. By 1982, things changed. Rising metal prices forced the mint to switch to a cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating. But here's where things get interesting. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents, but unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, they didn't include a mint mark. And buried among those millions, a few nearly perfect specimens. Uncirculated. Untouched. With microscopic minting errors or qualities that make them shockingly valuable today. Now you might ask, wait, if there were millions made, how can just one be worth nearly $1 million? Great question. And the answer lies in condition, rarity, and demand. Let's break that down. First, condition. The $917,000 penny was in mint state 68 red, a grade so pristine, even professionals have to squint to find a flaw. This level of preservation is incredibly rare for a coin that's over 40 years old and intended for everyday use. Second, rarity. Most 1981 no-mint pennies were used, tossed around, or corroded. Very few survived in exceptional condition. Even fewer were preserved without discoloration or scratches. And third, demand. There is fierce competition among high-end collectors to own the finest known example of each year and type. When these collectors go head-to-head at auctions, prices can skyrocket. And that's exactly what happened. Now let's pause here. Have you ever dropped a penny and not even bothered to pick it up? That might have been a $900,000 mistake. Makes you think twice before ignoring that change in your car's cup holder, doesn't it? Alright, let's get back to the treasure hunt. So how do you know if your 1981 penny is one of these rare gems? First, check the date. Look for 1981, plain and simple. Then, look just below the date. If there's no letter, no D, no S, just a clean space, congratulations, you might have a Philadelphia issue. Now inspect the color. If the penny has a bright reddish copper shine, it might still be in a high-grade, red, state. Coins are graded as red, red-brown, or brown. Red is the jackpot. Next, check the condition. Any scratches, dullness, or wear reduce the value fast. Ideally, your coin should look untouched, like it just left the mint yesterday. And here's the kicker: if you think you have a candidate, don't clean it. Ever. Cleaning a coin is like sanding a Picasso, it destroys the value instantly. Instead, get it professionally graded. You can submit it to grading services like PCGS or NGC, who will authenticate it, grade it, and seal it for protection. This is your passport to the serious coin market. So what happened to that $917,000 penny? It was found in an inherited coin collection. The owner had no idea. It sat in a box for years. One day, their grandson looked it up online, noticed the shine, and sent it in for grading. 3 months later, It was auctioned by Heritage Auctions for just under $1 million. Imagine receiving that call: "Hi, your penny just sold. We'll be wiring you $917,000. That's not just luck. That's preparation meeting opportunity. Now here's the truth: most people will walk past this kind of wealth every day and never know it, but you're paying attention. That's the difference between those who stay stuck in survival mode, and those who move toward real, generational wealth. And here's where you come in. Right now, go grab your old coin jar, your inherited collection, that forgotten drawer of pennies from your grandparents' house. Start inspecting every 1981 Lincoln penny you find. Check for that missing mint mark, that red copper glow, and that flawless finish, because while most pennies are worth just 1 cent, the right one can change your entire financial future. What would you do with $917,000? Pay off your home. Retire early. Start that business. This isn't fantasy. This is real money sitting in real homes, just waiting to be discovered, and you don't need to be a coin expert. You just need to look carefully, intentionally. Still think pennies are worthless? I'll bet your pocket change looks a little different now, and remember, these coins aren't getting any younger. As time passes, they get rarer, harder to find, and more valuable. Every day you wait, another opportunity slips away. Now imagine that same coin being worth over $900,000. Sounds crazy, right? But it's not a fantasy. It's real. And someone just like you is holding on to one right now, not even realizing it. In today's video, I'll take you inside the jaw-dropping story of the 1986 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that has shocked collectors and changed lives. If you've ever wondered whether your loose change could be a hidden goldmine, this is your moment. Stay with me, because this story might just make you a millionaire. Let's begin. In 1986, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary, used to buy bubble gum or fall between car seats. But buried within the billions, a few coins emerged that defied expectations, coins missing their mint marks, produced under rare and mysterious conditions. Now here's the twist. These no mint mark pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically didn't mark their coins until a major policy shift. So when a 1986 penny appears without a mint mark, pristine, perfectly struck, and clearly in error, collectors don't just pay attention. They open their wallets. But why would anyone pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a coin most people would ignore? Because rarity means power. And power, in the world of coins, means money. Let me put it this way: have you ever thrown a penny in a fountain and wished for a better life? Well, the 1986 no mint mark penny could literally be that wish come true. So what makes this coin so incredibly valuable? First, mint errors. When the minting process malfunctions, coins with unique flaws are produced. Most are destroyed or go unnoticed. But a few slip through, and when collectors find them, they go wild. A 1986 penny with no mint mark, in mint state condition, is one of the rarest known errors of its kind. Second, condition is everything. While worn coins might sell for a few bucks, a high-grade coin, graded MS 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, becomes a treasure. One such coin recently sold for a staggering $914,000 at auction. That's not a typo. That's someone's house, retirement fund, and dream life, all from one penny. Third, timing and demand. In 2025, collectors are aggressively pursuing error coins and high-grade pennies from the 80s. Why? Because they're disappearing. Being hoarded. Being locked away in private collections. And scarcity drives prices through the roof. Now pause and ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your spare change? You might be holding the key to a new chapter of your life. And here's a fun thought: what if your dog chewed up a couch cushion and you found one of these pennies hiding inside? Might be the most profitable dog mess in history. Now let's get to the practical part. If you think you might have a 1986 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, here's exactly what to do. First, examine the obverse side. That's the side with Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Look just below the date. If there's no letter at all, no D, no S, nothing, you might be looking at a valuable error coin. Next, check the condition. If the coin is shiny, with no major scratches, and still has its original luster, it could be worth sending in for grading. Use a magnifier to check for detail. And if it looks flawless, don't wait, submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade is the difference between a coin that sells for $10 and one that sells for $10,000 or more. Finally, connect with reputable dealers or auction houses. Heritage auctions, great collections, and legend rare coin auctions have all sold coins like this for life-changing amounts, but here's the truth most people ignore: every single day, people unknowingly spend these rare pennies at gas stations and vending machines. One bad decision, and that million-dollar dream vanishes forever. So don't be that person. Be the one who finds it. Who holds on to it. Who cashes in. Now you know the secret behind the 1986 no mint mark penny. But what if I told you there's another Lincoln penny out there, even rarer, even more valuable, and almost nobody knows about it? That's coming in the next video. Don't miss it. It's the 1988 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. And one rare version of this coin just made headlines with a jaw-dropping auction price of $907,000. Yes, almost $1 million for a coin that was once forgotten in someone's drawer. Now let me ask you, how many old pennies have you passed over in your life thinking they were worthless? What if the key to financial freedom, early retirement, or even your dream home has been hiding in your pocket this whole time? Stick with me. Because today, we're diving deep into the story of this incredible 1988 penny. How to identify it. Why it's so valuable. And how you could be the next person to cash in big. The 1988 Lincoln cent was minted in huge quantities, over 11 billion coins. Most of them were produced in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But the coin we're talking about today? It's something far more rare, and far more valuable. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Philadelphia Mint typically leaves coins without a mint mark. So, when you see a 1988 penny with no mint mark, that's not rare, unless there's something unusual about it, and that unusual detail is what has collectors going wild. This isn't a fairy tale, it's about a rare type of error called a reverse design variety. The most valuable 1988 Lincoln penny has something it shouldn't. The reverse side, also known as the tail, is actually using a design that was only meant for 1989 pennies. It's known in the collector world as the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny. And unless you know exactly what to look for, you'd never know you're holding something that could change your life. Here's the specific marker. Look closely at the G in the word America on the reverse. If the letters G and A are touching or nearly so, you might just have the rare 1988 reverse of 1989. Professional graders use magnifying tools, but with the right lighting and a steady hand, even you can spot it. Let that sink in for a second. A 1-cent coin, worth almost $1 million, because of a tiny design detail that the average person would never notice. And if you're wondering why a small mistake can mean a massive payout, think about this: collectors crave rarity. When there are only a few known examples of a coin like this, demand explodes. Bidding wars erupt. Prices skyrocket. Now be honest, have you started checking your loose change yet? Don't worry, I won't judge if you just pause the video to grab your coin jar. We've all done it. Here's the truth, and it's a little scary. People throw away wealth every single day. Coins are tossed into vending machines, given as tips, dropped on sidewalks, all without knowing their potential value. Imagine the fear of realizing you had one of these pennies and let it go. Imagine the regret of learning about it too late. That's why urgency matters. These coins aren't being discovered every day. And as collectors scoop them up, the chances of finding one decrease fast. You don't have to be a numismatist or a coin dealer. You just need awareness, and a little attention to detail. So you found a 1988 penny with no mint mark. The reverse looks unusual. What next? Step 1, don't clean the coin. This is crucial. Even wiping it can reduce its value drastically. Step 2, get it graded. Companies like PCGS or NGC specialize in verifying authenticity and assigning a value. A professionally graded coin will attract serious collectors and fetch higher prices at auction. Step 3, connect with auction houses or trusted dealers. The recent $907,000 sale didn't happen on eBay, it happened at a major coin auction where high net worth collectors are ready to compete. This is your opportunity to turn knowledge into fortune. But remember, time is not on your side. As more people learn about this coin, competition increases and supply tightens. You're not just holding coins. You're holding possibilities. That 1988 penny might not look like much, but it could be the ticket to the life you've always wanted. A better home. A safer retirement. That long-awaited family vacation. Or even just the peace of mind that comes from having financial freedom, but none of that happens without action. Check your jars. Go through your old drawers. Look at those forgotten piggy banks, because fortune doesn't knock twice. And when the next rare penny surfaces, it might be your name making headlines. Before you go, remember this: sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest value. And sometimes, a simple penny can turn into $1 million miracle. So, what are you waiting for? Your treasure could be just one coin away. Most people walk past wealth every single day without even knowing it. And that includes old pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1995 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that has shocked collectors, turned casual sellers into millionaires, and is still out there waiting to be found. This isn't a fairy tale. It's not a scam. And it's definitely not a coincidence. It's the power of numismatic treasure, hiding in plain sight. So grab your coffee, silence your phone, and pay attention, because if you own this penny and miss the signs, you could unknowingly spend a fortune at the gas station. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to go back to 1995. That year, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents. Most were ordinary. But a few, very few, were extraordinary. We're talking about a 1995 Lincoln penny with no mint mark and a critical doubling error on the obverse, specifically in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." This rare phenomenon is known as double die obverse. Imagine seeing double on a coin. Sounds like something after a few too many drinks, right? But in this case, it's worth close to $1 million. Now here's the kicker: many of these pennies were released into circulation. That means your grandfather's coin jar, your own childhood piggy bank, or even your local grocery store's cash register could be holding one of these hidden gems. This is not just about a coin. This is about a missed opportunity. Unless you know what to look for, pause for a moment. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you actually looked, really looked, at your pennies? Quick question: how many times have you bent over to pick up a penny from the ground, only to feel slightly embarrassed afterwards? Next time someone laughs at you for picking one up, smile, because that worthless penny might be your ticket to early retirement. Now let's talk numbers. The most pristine example of the 1995 double die penny sold for a staggering $900,000 in a private sale. And many others have sold for tens of thousands depending on their condition and grade. Even a moderately worn version can bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars if the doubling is visible. So don't toss it aside just because it's not shining like a brand new coin. Here's how to spot one: look closely at the word "Liberty." The doubling is most prominent here. The letters may appear slightly shadowed or stretched. Next, examine "In God We Trust." The doubling effect here is clear to the trained eye, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And finally, check Lincoln's eye. In some cases, it appears slightly doubled, giving him a somewhat suspicious look. It's like he knows you're about to get rich. This level of detail isn't visible without a magnifier, so if you don't already own one, consider this your sign to get one. But here's the twist: finding the coin is only half the battle, because if you don't know how to sell it, you could end up accepting far less than it's truly worth. And that's where most people go wrong. So how do you turn a rare penny into a 6 or even 7-figure payday? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal next could save, or make, you a small fortune. First, get the coin authenticated and graded. Use trusted services like PCGS or NGC. A professional grading can instantly multiply the value of your coin, because buyers trust certified coins far more than raw ones. Second, don't rush to sell. Reach out to reputable dealers, explore online auction platforms, and consider getting a valuation from multiple sources. Third, and this might surprise you: avoid local pawn shops. While some may be honest, most don't have the expertise to properly assess rare coin errors. You wouldn't sell a Picasso at a garage sale. The same logic applies here. Now, if you're thinking, this sounds like too much work, remember this: would you let $900,000 slip away because you didn't want to mail a coin or make a few phone calls? I didn't think so. The 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny with the double die is a rare key to unlocking financial freedom. And it's hiding in plain sight, maybe even in your own home. This isn't just about coins. It's about potential. About taking control of your future. About waking up to the opportunities lying quietly under layers of dust and time, because at the end of the day, it's not the coin that's valuable, it's the knowledge. And now that you have it, you're already ahead of 99% of the world. So don't just let this be another video you watched. Take action, check your pennies, share this with someone who always says they never catch a break, and most importantly, never underestimate the value of what seems ordinary, because sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest fortunes.